Hey everybody, it's Dr. Shawn Powers. It's Power Up Tuesday. It's time to grow and have more fun. And today I'm going to talk about attracting more new practice members as always, because the service you have is so vital, so important. There's a need that so many people have that they don't even know about. And then there's some needs that they do know about and they come to you for. So today is really going to be more about how to increase your ROI and assessments that you need to do to make that happen. So it's straight up 11 o'clock and I'm going to start. It's Dr. Shawn Powers with Power Up Tuesday. I own Power Source Coaching and I've been helping chiropractors grow their practices with personalized solutions for the last couple of decades. I love chiropractic more today than I did yesterday. I love it more today than when I started because it's so much fun to save lives, to be a life changer, to have impact. And I hope you're experiencing the same thing. And if you're not, I'd like to help you figure out how to have more fun and attract more new practice members. So if you've been with me over the last couple of weeks, or if you haven't, you might choose to go back and to look at specifically what I've been talking about in terms of attracting more new practice members. And Eileen, I see you're there with me, so welcome and feel free to chat me up with any specific questions that you have. Anybody who comes on, or whether you're watching this recording after it's been completed, please feel free in the comments section to let me know if you have any specific questions about this or anything related to practice, and I'd be happy to help you with that. So again, I'm Dr. Shawn Powers and I'm here to help you grow your practice. And what we've been talking about over the last couple of weeks is how to attract more new practice members. And the really important thing is for you to understand, how many more new practice members do you want? How many more new practice members can you handle? And why do you want them? So today, if this is something that works for you, push that follow button down below and make sure that you're aware of when I'm going live. Typically, I go live every Tuesday at 11 PST, Pacific Standard Time in the US, so that you can really have some momentum for your week. So again, I want you to share this. I want you to ask any questions. And next Tuesday, what we'll be talking about is more the specific strategies to get new patients. But today, I really want to remind you that the number of new practice members who are attracted into your practice are going to be dependent on the number of the intensity of activities you do, the effectiveness of activities you do, and like I said, I'll talk more about those next weeks, but also directly proportional to your desire to serve, to have new practice members, and to change more new practice members' lives. So here's what I want you to think about, is that if you want to move forward and grow, sometimes it's really important to step back, and review the past. And what you need to do is you need to look back. And so today is all about increasing your return of your investment on activities that you do and getting more new practice members. But if we don't look backwards and analyze where we are today, how do we know how we're growing and moving forward? So the first thing that I want you to do is take a moment, direct message me if you'd like the worksheet that will help you with this, but I want you to take a moment to write down all of your sources of new practice members. So let's just pick a number. Let's say over the last 90 days or the last 100 new practice members, have some sort of formula that you're going to analyze. Number one, what were the sources of new practice members? Number two, what were the cost of those new practice members? And then you can get to the return on the investment. So let me just talk about cost of a new practice member. There's some fundamental statistics that you should be paying attention to every week, month, quarter, of your and year end of your practice. You need to be, as much as you're a doctor and you want to save lives and change lives, you need to be really focused on the business, because if your business isn't stable, then you can't keep your doors open to save more lives and serve more people. Oftentimes people just want to know, how do I get new practice members? But it's so important to do assessments, evaluations to strengthen the foundation in your practice. So once people come to your practice, they stay, right? They refer, because we all know regular and consistent chiropractic care improves the quality and quantity of our life, makes our brain work better, makes every organ, every tissue, and every cell work better. So today we're talking about increasing the attraction of new practice members and increasing your return of your investment. So number one, determine either a set number of new practice members or a set number of time that you're going to analyze the sources of new practice members. So I'm just going to use an example. The last 50 new practice members, hopefully your number one source is referrals. Maybe your second source is workshops that you do outside of the office. That's a possibility. It could be your Facebook ads or your lead magnets, or it could be scheduling events that you do. So you get what I mean by sources. So you're going to categorize the top 5 sources of new practice members. Then you have to look at what the cost of that new practice member is. So one of the fundamental statistics that you always want to be measuring is your average collections per new practice member. And it's a very simple formula. You take your total number of new practice members for the month and you divide that into your total collections. So that's your average earned or your average collection per new practice member. And you could look at that weekly, you could look at it monthly, you could look at it quarterly, and you could look at it yearly. And it's an average, all right? So when we're looking at the cost, if I go and I do a scheduling event, and my scheduling event costs me $1,500, and let's say I just really wasn't prepared. I didn't really know how to do my scheduling event. And I only came home with one new practice member, and my average is $2,000. I've earned $500. So my return on my investment is very low. It actually costs me to go and do that. By the time I figure out my time, my money, my staff time to do that event. So the cost is not just your expenditure if it's a paid event, but it's the time you pay your staff. It's your personal time. It's the energy in preparing. It's the energy in following up. So cost is something that's a really important portion to analyze. Now, if I do a scheduling event and I get a new person from that, and then they refer me 5 new people, you see how my return on my investment increases. And then those 5 people refer me another 5 people. And then that even greater increases my return on my investment. So when I'm talking about measuring your return on your investment, you know how much you earn per new practice member. And so if I earn, let's say, an average of $2,000 per new practice member, if something's going to cost me $2,000, I need a minimum of 1 new practice member to break even. If I want to get 3 to 1, and again, you have to factor in those other costs of staffing, personal time, preparation, follow-up, follow-through, all of that. So let's say the event costs $10,000 by the time you add everything up. Then you can see that you really need to have a certain number of people to get a 3 to 1 return on your investment. And that's really what you want, an average of a 3 to 1 return on your investment. Listen, you do not just want to break even. You want to go beyond. You want profit. If we're not profitable, we cannot stay in business, or else we're not having fun. We're stressed. We're feeling disillusioned. We're not enjoying ourselves. So again, just to repeat, we're looking at the sources of new practice members. We're looking at the cost. We're looking at the amount that we earn, and we're looking at our return on our investment. Now, here's another really important statistic. If you're not measuring, I really implore you to start measuring this today. Is what's your retention? Your retention is a statistic that you determine by taking your total number of visits and dividing them by your new practice members. So I'll just give you some ranges. A 0 to 20 retention is usually a very pain-based practice. A 20 to 40 could be more condition-oriented. 40 to 80, 90, that's usually a subluxation-based practice. 90 plus is a vitalistic, life-oriented practice. So whatever your current retention is, it's important to know. And then here's the other assessment you want to do. So what's my current retention? If I personally am way below what is my brand, my intention, if I want to be a vitalistic family practice that sees people adopting the chiropractic lifestyle, and I have a retention of 10, that's telling you a lot of information. And it's telling you where you need to hone in and do some work. Now, the second thing that you need to look at in terms of your retention is the type of practice that you have. If everybody you take care of is under the age of 1, if they're infants, it's a purely infant practice, your retention would not be as high as if it's a mix, because toddlers need the same amount of care or more care than adults. So once you have a population in your practice that are walking, your retention is pretty much analyzed equally. But if you have infants without birth trauma, etc., you're going to check those babies, but the likelihood of them needing frequent visits until they walk is a lot less. So looking at your retention is really important. And to help you hone in on how to increase your retention, because remember, our goal is to attract more new people, to retain the people we have, because they need to have a healthy nerve system. They need to be free of subluxation because it increases the function of their brain, organ, and tissue. So they need this. It's not like we want to keep them because we need them. They need what we have. So one of the keys to determining how to increase your retention is to figure out where you lose people. And so the other assessment, the fifth assessment that I want you to do today, is a return on your investment calculation, is doing a dropout analysis. So you're going to do a dropout analysis. So let me just give you an example. If you take the last 30 new practice members, or 50, or all the new practice members who've come in over the last 90 days, and you list them out and you write down the number of visits. So let's say you had 50 new practice members and they have X amount of total visits that they've seen. So person number 1 only came 3 visits. Person number 2 came 56 visits. Person number 3 came 12 visits. Person number 4 came 77 visits. So then you take the total number of visits, you add those up. All right, so you have a set number of new practice members. You're going through the list and you're determining if they're still under care, and if so, what visit they're at. If they've left care, what visit they dropped out at. And you take those totals and you divide it by the number of new practice members that you're using in your dropout analysis. And that will give your retention average, all right, for the last 50 people. So let's say it came out to be 26. Well, 26 is pretty much condition-oriented. You're not really getting the chiropractic lifestyle, and that would help you hone in. And I got to improve day 1, day 2, day 3. I need to do better table talk. I need to improve my progress exams and my re-education, or shifting their paradigm from outside in to above down to inside out. So I really need to analyze this. So your dropout analysis will determine where you need to focus on your systems, your procedures, possibly your policies, and your processes. So it's whether or not you're getting the message through. If people are coming in the front door, like next week I'm going to talk about all sorts of strategies to get new people, but wouldn't that be just the worst possible thing if we bring all these new people in the front door and they leave out the back door? We do not want that. So we've talked about 5 things so far: your sources of new practice members, your cost of new practice members, your return on your investment, your current retention, and performing a dropout analysis. So once you look at that, you can say, what's my goal for increasing my retention? Because if you want to attract more new people, you want to have a really good retention, because people will have bigger life changes. Their brains will work better. Their performance will improve. They'll be able to get pregnant. They'll be able to get rid of their canes. I mean, you know, the gamut of the mores of chiropractic. So we want to really have a goal for our retention, as well as the number of people we want to attract. The 7th thing I want you to look at today for increasing your return on your investment is, how good are we at servicing new practice members? In other words, is there any limit to the number of people we can serve in a day, a week, a month, a quarter? And does that put up a barrier that prevents people from coming in, from referring? You know, like our ultimate goal is everybody comes in because they want to improve their performance, improve their expression of their human potential. But the reality is, a lot of people start with us when they have low back pain, neck pain, numbness, tingling, menstrual issues, infertility issues. So they might originally come to us for a symptom or a condition, right? So if I have felt compelled to pick up the phone and call you today, and I can't see you today, I can't see you tomorrow, I can't see you till next week, or I can't see you at a time that's convenient for me, that could be a blockage and a barrier. So I want you to assess your service ability. How many new practice members can you serve in a session, in a day, in a week, in a month? And while you're serving those people, is there any breakdown in your regular visits? So does it affect the quality of the service of your current practice members? Because that will affect your retention. It will affect your attraction. So I really want you to think about that as like evaluating your service and how many you can handle, and if there are any breakdowns within the flow, the care, the delivery, the focus on that day. So I've given you 8 things to look at, and I want to remind you, if you would like a worksheet, please direct message me or email me at shawn@powersourcecoaching.com, and I'd be happy to share a worksheet with you so that you can really hone in on this analysis. We love to do what we do because it changes lives. There's a need for what we have beyond even an awareness for what we need, of what they know they need. And that's why we have to be willing to get our foundation strong, get our educational methods strong before we start going out there and doing a lot of strategies to attract new people in, and they just come in the door and they go out the other door, because that affects the reputation of chiropractic and it affects your reputation. So I want to remind you that the better your business is, the more you can serve and save lives, and the more fun and the less stress you will have. So I'm Dr. Shawn Powers. This has been Power Up Your Practice Tuesday. I'll be back with you next Tuesday to talk more about the strategies to attract more new practice members into your practice. So if you're listening to this recording and you have questions, or as you re-listen, please go ahead and make any questions you have in the comment, because I'm here to serve you and help you save more lives and change more lives. Peace out, serve and save. Bye.